What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlemania here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of the Blue Brand, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including CM Punk's Wrestlemania opponent, will John Cena challenge for the world title at Wrestlemania, sad news for The Miz, Smackdown officially expands, Nia Jax busted open, Scott Steiner's son WWE-Bound, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlemania XL. Now, as always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, Drew Never Forgets. Now, SmackDown's opening segment featured a shocker with Drew McIntyre confronting Solo Sikoa and asking the self-appointed tribal chief if he lies awake thinking of when Drew will come for revenge. The segment added an interesting twist to the current battle between Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, teasing future matches involving Drew vs Roman and Drew vs Solo Sikoa. Drew McIntyre's ability to hold a grudge has come to define his heel persona, and it's refreshing to see that he hasn't forgotten about how Solo Sikoa robbed him of the Undisputed Championship at the original Clash at the Castle. Now, there's no telling where this will lead to, but this segment was a reminder of how the past impacts the present in WWE, giving fans more reason to enjoy the product. Number 2, build for Cody vs KO continues. WWE found itself in a tough position with last night's episode being taped because it didn't want to spoil the events of Saturday night's main event, chief among them Kevin Owens' attack on Cody Rhodes and Cody being stretchered out. At the same time, it wouldn't do to ignore the storyline, so the WWE went with a brilliant alternative, another video message from Owens promising more mayhem and payback on Cody Rhodes. Number 3, Corey Graves rants on Johnny Wrestling. Speaking of ranting and raving, Corey Graves was all in on blasting Johnny Gargano, a wrestler he's been at odds with for years and who we can't stand whether he's a babyface or a heel. While Graves is a heel announcer, it makes sense that his disdain for Gargano continues regardless of Johnny's recent heel turn. That was a good what about the bad is number 1, predictable matches. Last night's matches all had predictable finishes, and while none of the matches themselves were duds, the lack of effort in shaking things up added to the feeling many fans shared that this was one of the weakest SmackDowns of 2024. Number 2, Apollo Crews' random appearance. Apollo Crews' random appearance last night was pointless other than to make sure Andrade and LA Knight didn't have to count the lights for Solo Sikoa and his bloodline. As soon as Crews showed up, fans knew which team was losing and who was taking the fall, which wasn't the best way to categorize a wrestler. Number 3, the Grayson Waller effect snoozer. What has happened with Grayson Waller? Waller's A-Town Down Under team with Austin Theory has been painful to watch as the WWE's moved the story of their breakup at a snail's pace. Even worse, Waller seems to have lost the edge he had when he debuted on the main roster, and fans enjoyed his talk segment. Last night's segment was a snoozer, and it did nothing for the match it set up. Number 4, Braun Strowman at Hayes dud. Does the WWE Universe have a best of 7 series planned for Braun Strowman and Carmelo Hayes? Well, hopefully not, but last night's dud match where Strowman was counted out isn't encouraging, as it suggests the WWE has zero plans for either superstar. Number 5, WWE phones it in. The WWE has come a long way in improving the quality of its tape shows, so why did last night's show seem like the WWE just phoned it in? While it's great that the WWE is giving wrestlers and staff time off to enjoy the holidays, this doesn't mean that the show had to feature forgettable matches and forgettable moments. And exposing the WWE's weaknesses. SmackDown's failure to entertain exposed a major weakness that Triple H needs to address in 2025, his inability to elevate undercard talent into top-tier acts. While the WWE has many main event players, there's always room for one more. Last night's show had no main eventers from the men's division and could have benefited from appearances from top stars. Unfortunately, talents like Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, and even Braun Strowman haven't been able to be pushed to that level, despite all three showing the potential for pure greatness. That was nothing downright ugly, but the show was incredibly disappointing. What do you guys think of the Blue Brand last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now, let's move on to the news. Now, first story looks at 2 major Mania matches in the making. Now, top of today's news are rumors that the WWE may be going in a bold direction for 2 major Mania matches. The first is the rumors on CM Punk's Wrestlemania opponent. A Fightful select Sean Ross Sapp is reporting that the WWE sources have informed him that a CM Punk vs Roman Reigns bout has been heavily discussed. According to Sapp, CM Punk is hopeful about such a match. However, this potential match is subject to change should The Rock announce that he's available, with the Fightful report stating, "It was noted to us that if The Rock informs WWE of involvement in WrestleMania, much of the card could change, including this." Roman Reigns versus The Rock versus Cody Rhodes is one of the many potential matches involving The Rock should the final boss declare he's available for Wrestlemania, and if The Rock does show up, fans will be eager to see how it affects the card. You may recall recent rumors that the WWE wants CM Punk in a high-profile match at Wrestlemania, and that there was consideration that it involved a world title. While Punk versus Roman is big enough, it doesn't need a title at stake, but the WWE could still elevate the match with championship gold. Next up, will John Cena challenge for a world title at WrestleMania? John Cena's retirement tour will go into full gear come 2025, and one of the biggest questions is whether the 16-time world champion will get a chance to break Ric Flair's record and become a 17-time world champion. This has led to speculation that Cena will win this year's Royal Rumble and challenge for a world title at the Showcase of the Immortals. However, a new report from Viper Reports claims that the WWE is considering booking John Cena versus Logan Paul on the grandest stage of them all. This match is guaranteed to deliver mainstream media coverage, something the WWE goes out of its way to get at WrestleMania. While Cena fans want to see him battle for a 17th world title, there are many other shows he can do this at. Next up, Cody Rhodes selling the neck injury. Kevin Owens' brutal post-match attack on Cody Rhodes after Saturday night's main event went off the air is still being discussed, and Cody is making sure to sell the consequences of the sit-down pile driver Kevin Owens hit him with. Latrell Phillips recently tweeted a photo of himself and Cody, and the American Nightmare is wearing a neck brace. Don't be surprised if Rhodes competes with the neck brace to build a sense of vulnerability when he inevitably gets his rematch against Kevin Owens. Next up, SmackDown officially expands. Now it's official, SmackDown is expanding from 2 hours to 3 hours beginning with the 3rd January episode. WWE.com announced SmackDown continues to air on USA Network every Friday night at 8 and 7 Central in the US at the start of 2025. SmackDown will expand to 3 hours starting with Jan 3rd episode from Phoenix, Arizona. There was no word on whether USA Network is paying more for the added hour, but given TKO Holdings' policy of squeezing every nickel out of the WWE product, it's doubtful that the promotion added an hour of content with some compensation. It's also unclear whether the expansion is permanent, as there was talk the switch to 3 hours would end sometime after WrestleMania 41. Now, the move to 3 hours has been a frequent subject in the WWE rumor mill, with fans debating whether SmackDown needs the extra hour. Although Triple H has booked Raw's 3 hours effectively, a refreshing change from the days when fans routinely bailed out on during the 3rd hour due to wrestling overload, it's unknown if he can pull this one off on the Blue brand, especially if the rumors of the OG bloodline moving to Raw pan out. What do you guys think of SmackDown expanding to 3 hours? Is it the right call? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Nia Jax busted open during the SmackDown match. What led to Nia Jax's injury on SmackDown? Jax was busted open during a tag match with Candice LeRae against the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Bianca Belair and Naomi, but it's unclear how and when it happened. Jax posted a photo of her Instagram feed after the pre-taped SmackDown aired, revealing blood on her forehead. Some who watched the show believe Jax accidentally cut herself during a spot where she hit the ring post, but the actual cause remains unknown. Next up, The Miz experiences very sad news. A sad news to report as the WWE superstar The Miz took to Instagram to mark the passing of his grandmother. Miz posted a photo of himself and his family with his grandmother along with his tribute. "Grandma Dixie, we love you and miss you. Life is so precious. One day we are laughing and the next you are no longer with us. I'm thankful for my time my girls got to spend with you. Thankful for the smiles you brought me ever since I was a kid." And we send our condolences to The Miz and his family on their loss. Next up, Scott Steiner's son WWE-Bound. And last but not least, wrestling already has a second-generation superstar in Bron Breakker, the son of WWE Hall of Famer Rick Steiner, but could Bron's cousin join him in the ring? Scott Steiner recently spoke with ESPN about his son Brock Greg Steiner's college football career for the Jacksonville State Gamecocks, and during the conversation, Big Papa Pump was asked if Brock plans to follow in his father's footsteps, with Steiner answering, "Yeah, that's the plan. That's what he wants to do, so whatever makes him happy." The man who invented Steiner Math explained what it takes to reach the top of the grappling game. "Be a genetic freak like myself. It takes a lot of work. I did it for 25 years, so it takes a while." Now, there will be high expectations for Brock if he enters wrestling, given his pedigree and Bron Breakker's smash success. But there you have it, folks. I will look at SmackDown as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.